G. Bush, what do you got today?
I didn't know we were shotgunning open.
We're not going. We weren't supposed to today.
But
I told Jay 2 minutes ago. You nodded. I literally said 2 minutes ago we're skipping the shotgun intro.
That must have been when Bull was making his comment right before the show that I said, wait a minute.
I was like,
This was at 10:58. Hey guys, we got too much to get to. We're
Let's
skipping
go.
the shotgun intro.
All right, screw it.
Let's get right into it.
Basically, you know where we're starting.
Yeah.
And I brought it up just a second ago. None of us enjoy sitting here talking about this.
Not at all.
But it involves the biggest player on the biggest sports team in town. So, yeah, we're going to go to the New York Times article, and we're going to get our reaction on this. Here's the nuts and bolts to the article if you didn't read it. The Times, through a lengthy investigation, and I do think that this was journalistically solid. This piece, I thought, had all the 10 posts of good journalism. They have uncovered that the number of different massage therapists that Deshaun Watson has seen over a 17-month span was 66. Now, of the 66 women, 24, we already knew that, have filed lawsuit, the civil lawsuit. So why is this a story? I think it's a story because previously that number was, according to Watson, around 40 women. Around 40 different women. Mm-hmm. There was also some other things in the article that certainly may have raised some eyebrows. Mm-hmm. In the piece, they talk about how the Houston Texans, they used the word enabled.
Yeah.
I thought that might have been a bit of a stretch because what they're saying is that the Texans secured some of the locations and that there was also, and this was the thing that I really had a problem with, that there was a team-provided NDA to at least one of the massage therapists.
That's very shady.
That I don't understand why you would ask a massage therapist to sign an NDA. I know NDAs have become more and more common for pro athletes as they're trying to keep their lives private, but that, to me, that seems a little greasy. But anyhow, the team did set up this private location for Watson to get some of these massages. What I thought the Times fell short of was linking the massages in which the Texans provided a location and any sexual improprieties taking place at those massages. Because remember, if 24 women have come forward, and we know now that there are 66 women, if you do the quick math, that means 42 either haven't alleged any improprieties or they haven't filed criminal or civil lawsuits. So this obviously, I don't think anybody's saying that this happened at every massage. So what I felt the Times fell short on was connecting the dots between the locations provided by the Texans, those massages, and improprieties taking place. Anyhow, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, Jay,
what's your
I
reaction
think,
to this
well,
piece?
first of all, some people have made a big deal about, you referenced it briefly, that he had said there were 40-something and there were actually 60-something. To me, I don't look at that as a big deal. I've gotten a good amount of massages, never anything sexual in nature in my married life.
Right.
But in the last 5 years, if you ask me how many masseuses I've been to, I might say 15 or 12. I don't know, but the actual number might be 22. I'm not keeping track of how many people. I don't have a list.
I don't know that anybody does.
Right. So if he's gone to 66, but he said, "Oh, I went to 45," I don't think that's a big deal. However, there's a couple of things here. I've been thinking over the last couple of days, what are we confident that we know, or at least what am I confident that I think I know? Because as we've said time and time again, nobody has the facts except for the women and Deshaun.
That's it. Facts.
Right? All of the facts.
Right.
But what do we know? Well, or what do I think I know, and what am I completely not sure of? What I think I know is that Deshaun Watson had sexual encounters with many of these women. And if it was consensual,
I think that's more what you think, not
that's
what
I'm
you
saying.
know.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
what
no,
I think I know.
I think that's almost a contradiction. What I think I know.
Okay, fair enough. What I think.
Look, if we're
you're right. You're right. You're right.
I'm
fair
parsing
point.
words, but
No, you're right. Fair point. What I think is that Deshaun Watson had sex with many of these women. All right, and if it was consensual, which it probably was with at least most of them, if not all. Then I don't care about those, because if it's consensual sex or consensual whatever, who cares? That's consenting adults. It's not illegal. He could still be suspended for that behavior. I don't think he should be, but he could be. What I also think were some girls he tried to maybe do something with and they weren't interested. I think there were some girls he probably tried to do something with and maybe they did it because they felt some pressure, maybe not even obviously from him, but they were like, well, he's Deshaun Watson. I don't know. I just think you can't put every single incident into one basket. I think there's a lot of variety here. But the bottom line for me, guys, is Deshaun Watson is not 100% innocent here. How guilty is he? What actual things has he committed any, not necessarily crimes, but has he committed any, has he done anything here that could lose him in court? That I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
But he's done enough that he has to settle, I think, and there's no way he can completely claim that he's completely innocent.
Tyvis,
It feels that way to me.
What's your take?
I think it's somewhere in between of him being guilty and him not being guilty. It was something that you said a couple of weeks ago, even last week, where you said that maybe he doesn't realize that he's done it or the effect that he's had on these women.
Well, what he did, he didn't see as offensive.
Exactly, and I think that's probably where we're at. Because some of them stories I can see how it could happen with the whole setup with I think my thought is he probably went in there, scheduled a massage, got naked, and once if any man that gets touched on by a woman, you're going to be aroused by it. That's 100% facts. Like I said, I've had a ton of massages in my life while playing, and every time I've pretty much been aroused by a woman, but obviously I had shorts on, so that stopped all of that. I think that his penis hit their hand, and how they reacted to it was how he kind of figured out what was going to take place. Some of them laughed it off maybe, and some probably was offended by it. And I think to him, he's like, oh, I could just say that it was an accident, stuff like that.
We talked about this off air, and I wanted to get your thought on this, and we can all weigh in. Should there just be a general rule in the massage therapy industry that you need to wear shorts? I
think you should.
I think with spandex shorts, the masseuse can still get to the areas, the glutes, and everything.
How do you massage your groin? Have you ever had your groin massaged?
Yes.
How do they do that with
spandex shorts?
So the spandex shorts roll.
I'm making him explain.
Okay, I'm about to say the spandex shorts.
Please get on stand and ask how this
Listen,
that's a fair question, G. Bush, but I think that
you could do that.
It's two types. So it's two types of shorts. Like I said, in San Fran we use hot tub shorts, so they're a little bit looser.
Gotcha.
And then you got spandex shorts like compressions.
Yeah.
The compressions roll up. Can you get all the way down Can you roll them all the way up? Probably not. But the tub shorts is so loose that they can get down and get in there through, not under the shorts, but through it. So going through it. So yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like to go into a massage completely naked.
That's not.
I think
really
that's.
I don't.
Unless that's been discussed beforehand and the woman's okay, clearly. But like just asking a woman in a massage when you're Deshaun Watson, can I be naked? It inherently puts some pressure on the woman.
Yeah, I just think the optics of it. I don't know.
It's like I say, the groin thing. I hear you, but like I said, I think you can get to it because there's been plenty of times I got massages and my groin area got hit,
and wasn't naked,
and I was not naked. So you don't necessarily have to be 100% naked. I think that's just your personal preference. If you want to be naked and don't want nothing in the way, then you should ask the woman, is that okay? If that's comfortable. Mm-hmm. If she's professional, she'll probably say, absolutely, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. But if you're a woman and you know that the guy's going to be naked, be prepared for his penis to hit your hand.
So the reason I wasn't saying that as if that was my excuse for him not having no drawers on. You gotta have some drawers on, dog. Even in my house, we used to have a 2-layer rule. 2 layers at all the time.
2 layers.
Do not be walking around in your boxers.
I walk around in my boxer briefs every day.
No, 2-layer rule.
I never wear anything.
That's too much information.
You on the couches?
We don't want to know that.
Yeah, that's my family.
2-layer rule.
I'm about to say definitely. Unless when I'm going to bed, then that's different.
Yeah, what if someone rings
walking
the
around the house?
I put on shorts.
See, that's why you got to be prepared. Yeah, I'm just setting it up. Now, anyway,
I don't open the door for anybody.
So let me give you
this.
Look,
what you do in your house is your business.
That's your thing.
That's right.
You pay the mortgage over there, right?
Damn right I do.
Hey, So let's get to this. I think there's one little small thing we're missing here. The 66, right?
Yeah.
People moving around a little bit on that 66 number, but there's a small number. Can I get that first graphic? Now let me show you this. Now, if it's 66, and help me with the math here. So 66 massages.
Yep.
24 filed their suit. So that's
42.
42, right? Out of those,
did not.
Out of those 42, give me the next clip. Out of that 42, we doing basic math. Look at the bottom stat. At least 15 issued statements of support for Watson. I think that what you have to realize is you take that 42, take that 15 away, and now you have people who either said, nothing really happened, I don't have an issue with it. And on top of that, 15 have come out and said, not only did I not have a problem with it, I'm going to put my name, my reputation, my business, and I'm going to put it on the line and say, I'm going to give him a statement of support. And it said at least 15. So my thing is this. When you got people, and this is why I always say, it's not that hard, people. It's not that difficult. We don't got to keep doing this. They're going to have a civil case, right? They're going to have a civil trial. Because if you want to talk about 24, he's sitting there telling you, well, what about 15? I got 15 people.
that don't
Yeah, but
matter.
it only takes one.
It doesn't matter.
But hold on.
Just because he may not have done anything they didn't like doesn't mean he didn't do it to the other people.
But what you got to understand is you can't take the negative allegations, make it fact.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no.
You can't cherry pick.
You
So
can't.
the
You can't.
24, if the 24 are telling the truth, then the 15, and actually that
right.
number, I
but
was
even
confused
if both
that-
numbers are true, even if both
Yeah.
people are telling the truth,
they're not.
that's still
they're
not good
ex-
for Deshaun.
They're not mutually exclusive. There
have-
could be 24
Right.
women that are
They
telling
could
the
all
truth.
be telling the truth.
But you have to weigh that, right? But so what I'm saying is, in this case, for me, it could be totally plausible 15 people said nothing happened. It could be plausible 24 said this did happen. Guess how you find out? You go to a trial.
Can't.
What you mean I can't go
He
to a
can.
trial?
No, you
it's
can't.
not good for him in his career.
Why what you think is worse? For my career, accepting something that I said I didn't do?
But we know realistically
I can't
he's
say
not
that.
completely
I
innocent.
can't say that.
Well, I do think, to G. Bush's point,
Yeah.
I do think that at this point,
Yeah.
Busby is winning the PR battle between the
sure.
attorneys.
Yeah,
he
sure.
is schooling Rusty Harden. I talked about this 2 weeks ago. I thought it was going to be death by a million cuts, and that's exactly what this has been. The 23rd, a few days. First the HBO special, then the 23rd, then the 24th.
Yeah, he definitely-
now the 66.
He definitely trying to get a
Also,
settlement.
I want to make one thing clear. The Times article said at least 15 women.
At least.
But in March of 21, Rusty Harden released a statement that 18 women signed in where they vouched for Deshaun Watson. And also, this point should be clarified too. Not only did they vouch for Deshaun Watson and what happened during their experiences, but they also made attacks on the 24 women that were alleged, at the time 22 women that were alleging improprieties, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Well,
like,
how do they
why
even
would
know
you
that?
speak?
But
I don't
how
know.
would they even know them? Do they even
to
know
me,
each
it
other?
sort of
I
took
mean-
away from the power of that statement. If these 18 women want to come forward and say,
Yeah.
look,
He
in
didn't do
our
anything.
experience, he was a complete gentleman, nothing happened, that's one thing. But what kind of caught my eyebrows about that whole statement was that some were making disparaging claims about the women who were alleging Watson did
In
commit some
in
sort of
my
sexual
mind,
impropriety.
the most I could believe in Watson's favor is that he didn't realize he was doing something inappropriate or that he was pressuring these women. That's the best I can believe
Right, so-
from his behalf.
and that's what
And
Tyvis
There's
mentioned.
no way I can believe that 24 women have completely made
It's just
this up.
to
That's
me
just hard to believe.
To me,
But when you talk about the once in a lifetime check. What do you mean you can't believe it? If
Well-
people will say a lot of different things
Gee.
for a check.
for sure, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
I'm not saying
I hear
24
you.
did.
It's hard to believe that 24 women have completely made up everything.
I won't see.
I can believe that Watson, in some, many, maybe all of these cases, did not realize the pressure he was putting on the women or that he was doing anything wrong. I think that's possible. I think that's possible.
To me, the biggest eyebrow raising about all of it is the fact that it was 66 different masseuses. Like if you're a star, like if you're a player, everybody gets 1, 2, maybe 3 that you just work with all for the rest of your life, like your whole career. You work with these. Yeah, masseuses.
Okay, so this
so
is where,
it's the fact to me that he got that many, and it's just like, why you need that?
How many did you have in your career?
Well, there's a whole lot of questioning here that I wanted to undergo. And here's why. It's great that you're here.
Yeah.
You played in the NFL.
Yes.
You understand this whole world.
Yes.
Do teams provide massages?
Yes.
Do the players have to use the masseuses that they provide?
No.
Are some of these massages that are taking place with masseuses that you hire, are they ever happening on the at the team facility?
If you ask, it can.
They
be.
will. Okay,
They will. They will
so
do
far,
that. Yes.
not uncommon, not
Yeah.
uncommon,
Yes.
not uncommon.
They will do that.
66 women in 17 months is a different massage therapist every 10 days. Is that common?
Having a massage every 10 days is not.
Common.
It's very common.
Yeah.
But having 66 different ones, that's the one that's kind of like.
That's
What's
one
the
that
most you can remember? Most different people you used in one season that you can remember?
Well, in San Fran, they bring in like 8 to 10 women to do.
But that's all at the facility.
Yeah, it's all at the facility,
And
and you can rotate through those people.
Right.
And you're not paying for those. The team.
No, yeah, the team pays,
the
but it's
massage
some
therapist.
teams do make you pay for it. But for San Fran in particular, they pay for it.
I'm wondering, would teams cover the massages if a player came to them and said, I've got my own person, nothing against your staff, I've tried them all, they're not doing it for me, will you pick up the bill for my massages?
If you're Deshaun Watson, they're picking up the bill.
Well, I wonder.
I
There
would
probably
assume.
are different rules for different players.
I would imagine that they would, because I mean, you still getting the massage, especially if you're doing it at their facility.
Right.
Like they can.
But you
obviously
never
see.
experienced
But I've never
that.
personally
You
experienced.
never
that.
asked for
So
the
he
team.
paid. I mean, he paid all these women. So
Yes, that's the assumption.
So there had to be sexual encounters. He even admitted there were sexual encounters.
Yes.
Rusty Harden said there were, and yes, I'm sure there were some that were 100% legit.
He claims they were all consensual.
Yes. Every sexual one, every
Right.
time he has sex
But
with
let's
them,
say
that was
he's
consensual.
but let's say he's naked. Let's say he's naked.
Yes.
And he's just moving his penis around. That's hitting the girl's hand, and then she backs away. And it's like, I don't want to do that.
But
That's already
That's
going
your
too far.
That's
social
our-
cue that
see,
you
and that's the-
crossed the line.
Yes, you've already
right
crossed the
there,
line there.
Right there is where the problem.
And so if
like,
that happened, he may think, okay, I did that. She said, no, I stopped. But he's already crossed the line in that situation. If that happened.
But at the same time, as a masseuse, you should kind of expect if somebody's naked and you rubbing them, like it's probably
you ever-
if you getting in their area like that, it's probably going to happen.
yeah,
Facts.
but
Like let's not.
not-
You,
I
if you
mean-
massaging a man's groin and he's fully erected, it's 90% of the time his penis is gonna hit your hand. 100%.
Remember I told you I had something. I was like, he said save it. My thing is this. I'm super paranoid, right? I'm paranoid about a lot of stuff, right? I'm paranoid about who I hire, how many times I see him, all the above letter D. Because if it's me and I'm an athlete, the last thing I need somebody to be like is, hey, I massaged him for 5 years and we were great until he did this. Now, that person has 5 years of a relationship with you. That person knows you. That person knows your in and out. They know your schedule. They know your routine.
Yeah.
If it's me, I can understand why a rich professional guy says, nah, we're gonna do one-offs. You're not getting that close to me.
Yeah.
Give me a new massage therapist every time.
yeah, but Tyvis is telling you that's unusual.
Well, here's the thing.
guys don't do this.
Well, I mean, you got to understand.
Yeah.
This is a quarterback, right? We've seen people. Now, what's to stop, say, for instance, what's to stop somebody from saying, all right, this is a great thing. Could you then, as a massage therapist, say, I massage Deshaun Watson, I massage Brett Favre, could you use those names in what you're doing to sell your
Oh,
product?
you
Absolutely.
do. No,
Of course,
listen, gee, not can you? They
You do, yeah.
See? This is
You
what I'm
definitely
saying.
do.
And that's why there could be some inherent pressure on the women, and maybe they went along even though they might not have
And
wanted
think about it. Guess what? What if Deshaun Watson says, no, you ain't going to use my name in that?
Well, if you give them one massage, they're already going to use it.
Yeah.
Well, could that explain why the team has them doing an NDA?
No, I think they did the NDA because it would stop them. If he's completely naked, I don't think they want them going around telling what they saw, like all that.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that because I thought that too?
I would think that would be the only reason.
I'm trying to figure out a reason why the Texans would provide an NDA.
Because he's going to get naked, and they know he's going to get naked. So you're not about to go out in the streets and tell everybody about
or write a book, right?
But wait, guys.
And players over the last, I think, decade, maybe longer, have become increasingly paranoid. I've heard stories where athletes that are dating women, actually, before they go out on dates, ask them to sign NDAs.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep their private life private, and they don't want anybody monetizing what they can say about Derek Jeter behind closed doors. I can understand that, but when I heard it, I was like, that doesn't seem completely right to me.
I think in a way we should go. I almost think like the debates about what he did or didn't do, which we've been doing,
right,
all of us, is almost pointless now. Because most of us really care, when we're honest about it, is the only thing we really care about is he going to play or is he not going to play? That's the reality. That's what most people care about. We could pretend we're on a higher
I've heard
perch.
from a lot of Browns fans, Bull, that say if in their mind there becomes a day where they think the evidence is overwhelming that he crossed these lines.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of Browns fans that are not just interested in is he going to play.
I don't
definitely
believe them.
No,
I think that 99% of them are liars, and they will watch the games if he plays.
I think they'll watch it, but I don't think they will support. I tell you what, yesterday after this news came out, if you got on Twitter, it was a bunch of Browns people like, listen, this is terrible. I'm done.
Now look, we need to be clear. Twitter is not a representation of real life. One other thing, I think we have to point this out. It's not illegal to use 66 different massage therapists in 17 months.
Nope.
It's not illegal to use 250 different massage therapists in 17 months. So I didn't see anything in the New York
It's not illegal to
Times
have sex
article.
with a consenting adult.
It's not.
Or pay for it. Well,
what I'm looking for is Deshaun Watson forcing someone to have sexual relations with him that did not want those relations to happen.
That's right.
Yep, that's what we're looking for.
That is where to me where the line is crossed. So 66, no. 24, no. If any of the 24 can provably convince me that Deshaun Watson had sexual encounters with them against their will, that is a line that I feel a lot of Browns fans have a problem with that.
But even if you did find that out, which I don't think we will, but
I don't know how we will.
If we do, let's say we did, and the league suspended him for a year. If he came back the year after, would you not root for the Browns? What would you do?
That is the slippery slope that we're on, and that's the trickiest question of all. I don't know is my answer. Because there's too many hypotheticals.
I think 99%
I'll
of
tell
fans
you
would
this,
still root
Bull,
for the team.
if they eventually win a Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson, and I have crossed the threshold of being convinced that he forced women to have sexual relations that they were not consenting to, that Super Bowl to me would feel lessened. Well, it would feel tainted to me.
I just say this, and I just always have to, give you this disclaimer. You do realize that the highest level of our food chain is now athletes. We put athletes here.
Celebrities, musicians, I think are right there too.
No. I just think athletes, because here's what we're gonna say. You can do underneath that. You could be a celebrity. You could be a politician. You could be a clergyman. You do what you want.
But I don't feel like the politician you're referring to.
I agree with that.
I think there are a lot of people, and they're different people, have a problem with that politician.
Now 74 million.
Let me
give you this.
Terrible thing.
Let me give you a quote. This ain't from Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I don't even wait. The reality star told NBC host Billy Bush, suggesting he might start kissing the actress he was about to meet for the first time. It will be no big deal. Since you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. You can grab them and you can do anything. Yeah. Now hold on. Stop point. Full stop. That man had launch codes. Athletes here, I just read you that statement. That was before.
Like I said, I agree
the election.
With it. It's too many times that athletes you gotta be perfect.
But the answer is not to excuse Watson if he did it. No. It's to condemn the other guy.
So what was your point in saying that the athletes are the top of the food chain?
My point is, for all the Browns fans that sit up there, I'm not going to support the team. Nobody ran and left the country. We didn't go to Canada. We didn't get on.
But there were a lot of people who didn't support the president.
But here's the thing.
True.
Yeah.
This could be this could be mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
You can stay in the country and say, I don't agree with what our top of our leadership is doing. And you could be a Browns fan and say, I don't really agree with the situation with Deshaun Watson.
I think Pittsburgh
You
did.
can
I know,
do two
but
things.
Look, this country has a long history of its presidents doing things that we would hope wouldn't set an example for others to do. Going all the way back, John F. Kennedy was one of the most revered presidents. Bill Clinton was wildly popular. Yet, I don't think I think
Nobody
the mistake,
to this level that we're talking about.
I think the mistake
yeah.
that we're making here is trying to say that these people are our moral compasses. They have a job to do, and it goes back to the thing we talked about last week, our athletes' role models. I just believe that because they're the top of the food chain, it doesn't excuse them for behavior. And look, I do think this is a personal choice for all fans.
It is.
If they're okay with the wins and they can overlook behavior that they thought maybe crossed the line but wasn't criminal, that's up to them.
You can root for a team and a player without liking everything about their
Well,
player.
I've done that before.
There's
We all
bad
have.
guys on every team.
Yeah, and you
whatever.
rooted for the Cubs with Chapman.
With Chapman.
That
The
was fine.
bottom line is most of the people that say they won't root for the Browns are liars.
Yes, I
Or
agree.
maybe they believe it now, but it won't actually be true when it
If the
happens.
Browns do well, everybody.
99.9%.
Yeah, I mean,
the biggest question I seen yesterday was somebody asked, would you buy your daughter a Deshaun Watson jersey? And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, if she wanted it, because to me, I don't think what he did. I'm a father, so it's up to me to raise my daughter correctly.
yeah,
Like,
you
it's
make
up to
your
me
choices.
That's on you.
to teach her about the life and stuff like that. If that's who she wanted to, if she wanted to support him and she likes him because of what he does on the field, like that's totally different.
we have to turn this to quickly to the Houston Texans. How do they play in all of this for you guys? Like, did reading yesterday in the Times that they provided a location for some of these massages, even though they didn't link any of those massages specifically to sexual impropriety, and the fact that there was an NDA involved, does that change the way you view the Texans?
No, I don't care about the Texans. Did not.
The Times used the word enabled. Was
Deshaun
that
Watson.
too strong?
Yes, I think it was. Based on the information I know, based on the article, I don't think there's proof in that article that they enabled him.
Right. And Deshaun's a grown-ass man.
I think
He's got
it's possible that they did, but I don't think there's proof that they did.
Okay.
But I don't think, as you said, he's a grown man. He was young, but he was a grown man.
Yeah.
It's his responsibility if he did something wrong, not the Texans.
I don't think it's the Texans' fault. I mean, like I said, they provided a place for their star quarterback to get a massage. And the NDAs, to me, if the way I interpret it correctly and the way I think is correct, I think the reason that they did the NDAs was to say that you don't want them discussing his personal business outside in the streets. Yeah. So I think they did the right move by doing that, because you don't want.
I wonder if that's common.
Yeah, you don't want.
Have you ever heard of that before for a massage?
No, not no massage.
Right. G. Bush, how did the Texans play in this to you?
I mean, they just set it up. Like, at the end of the day, man, people is responsible for their own behavior. I done said it for 100 times. People be thinking like, oh, you throwing the cape on for Deshaun Watson. No, bro, from Jump Street, I'm like, look, anytime you have sex with somebody, you have to be cognizant of who you doing that with, because you are giving them power. That you giving, like, that's sharing a part of your life with that person, right? You can't come to me and tell me, oh, you did this or you did that. I don't even know you. I ain't never been in a room alone with you, and I'm not going to. And if I was Deshaun Watson, and people need to start putting some parameters in place, because everybody's continuously acting naive. Let's not be naive. If I'm going in and I'm having a high-priced athlete there, I'm sure as heck got backup. I got somebody outside the door waiting. If I get uncomfortable, I'm going to knock on the door, I'm going to leave, right? If you Deshaun Watson, guess what? You might want to start having people in the room too. Hey, I'm protecting myself.
If he's getting happy endings, you don't want anybody else in there.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
I think those days are over.
I guarantee those days are finished.
He's got a girlfriend too.
All I can say is the Texans, they did what they were supposed to do. They thought they was helping him do is get him in his body right. And at the end of the day, when you got that much money, you got that $240 million, right? Guess what? people know you got 240. See, this ain't like other places. You can walk down the street and a businessman can be wearing a gray T-shirt and loafers, and you don't know he got $1 billion. But they know you. You throw the football, and they know it.
He ain't got the 240 yet. It's coming.
No,
and he didn't sign that contract.
But it was
till
very public.
But most of these lawsuits started before. I mean, he was still making plenty
He
of
still
money.
had 150 to
But he
play.
wasn't. He didn't have
what's
the
the difference
240.
between
No, I know.
150 and
But just
240?
just we're parsing words.
90 million.
You're right.
To be clear.
Want to be factually
Yeah.
correct. I'm definitely in line with you guys. I think that the Texans don't deserve credit when these kind of things happen and things go well.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they don't deserve blame. I haven't heard anything yet that has made me say, whoa, the Texans were complicit here. I need to know, what I have to see or hear is that the Texans heard from some of these women and did nothing, heard from these women and didn't properly investigate the claims.
Right.
I haven't been told yet that the Texans were informed by any of these women or legal authorities or lawyers that this stuff was going on and they looked the other way. If I were to hear that, then that would change my tune. But right now, I don't see that the Texans are on the hook for any of this. If there was any impropriety done, that's on Deshaun. Because he's making his decisions as a man, and he has to be the guy that pays the price for them.